It just got amazing around here. Odell Beckham traded to the Cleveland Browns.
I'm very excited about this.
In my opinion, we acquired the best wide receiver in football.
I think that's going to make me a better player. You know, it's so much different than what it was when I was in Pittsburgh.
The Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray.
Josh Rosen does wind up a Dolphin.
Russell Wilson is the highest paid player in NFL history.
And anytime a team is willing to invest, it instills a lot of confidence in me.
It is a 5-year, $100 million deal. Makes Thomas the NFL's highest paid receiver.
Well, we're working with the NFL in regards to the helmet.
It's time for him to be all in or all out.
My focus is on our team, not any of these players' contracts.
He's prepared to sit as long as he has to.
I'm thankful for the opportunity I had in Houston, and I'm just glad to be part of this team now.
Feel really good being able to get a proven left tackle to protect Deshaun Watson.
I needed to recover. I was not in a good place. I was losing that joy in life.
I'm going to retire. This is not an easy decision. Honestly, it's the hardest decision of my life, but it is the right decision for me.
And that's when they're not playing. We're not playing football. Isn't it crazy? I mean, that was just 60 seconds as well. And news breaking on the Zeke front and Jared Goff as well for the Rams, which we'll get to in this 2-hour show. Storylines for you to watch, Steve Mariucci, in the 2019 season. What do you got?
Rich, I'm going to piggyback off of what we just saw. The Indianapolis Colts, really, they're a playoff team. They're a good football team, getting better too. Well, their star quarterback, Andrew Luck, decides to retire at age 29. And it kind of shocked the football world a little bit. And they have to go to a playoff team going to a new quarterback. Kind of reminds me of 1999. I mean, this happened one time where there was this good football team, and all of a sudden a coach has to put in a new guy in there. Let's take a look at this.
We will rally around Kurt Warner, and we'll play good football.
Play good football, Kurt.
Huh? Very good football.
Did you guys win the Super Bowl that year?
We did.
I'm not predicting that the Colts are going to win.
I think we beat the 49ers.
Yeah, you beat us. You know, finally you did. And so, but Jacoby Brissett's a good young football player. He's been their starter before when Andrew Luck was hurt in 17. 4-11, but you know what? Better offensive line right now. This is a better football team for Jacoby Brissett to be the leader and be very successful.
And Mooch, I'm going to piggyback on that because you're talking about the Colts. They're not the only team that lost one of their big pieces, and they're going to have to replace them going into the season. I look at the Pats. They got to replace Gronk. I look at the Seahawks. Doug Baldwin is out. You talk about the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Redskins. If Zeke is out an extended period of time, or Melvin Gordon or Trent Williams. And then there's OBJ and AB that moved to different teams. So how do the Giants and the Steelers react to those? So those teams are going to go as their replacements go. So to me, huge storyline going into the season.
And I'm going to peel just a little bit off of you and talk about that AB situation. Guys, last year, all we talked about was the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Killer Bees, Bell. He just buzzed out of the whole year. Ben Roethlisberger decided to buzz all day about Brown on his radio show until Brown said, I'm bounced out of here. That's all we talked about all year long. Now, each of those guys are in their separate place, gone their own way. Bell is in New York. Brown now is in Oakland. Ben manning the ship over in Pittsburgh. We will talk about what will be happening with each of those guys because they grabbed all the headlines all year last year. This will be interesting to see exactly how those killer bees that couldn't buzz together to a championship, can they carry their teams into the playoffs and deep?
And it starts for the Steelers on Sunday night in, of all places, New England, where they'll raise a banner on Sunday Night Football. Tom Brady, a 42-year-old, backed up by a rookie quarterback. Gronk is, as you saw in that 60-second tape, he is retired, but is it possible that he would come back? And just to see how the Patriots season and their title defense maps out is definitely going to be a storyline to watch. Now, Jared Goff, the NFC champion quarterback from last year, has agreed to terms. Rams have tweeted it out. It's been confirmed. Terms on a 4-year contract extension. And one assumes with, Wentz having signed a big fat deal, and that would be Russell Wilson also had a big fat deal, that one would think Goff is going to be in that very respectable neighborhood, to use a midnight run phrase. Kurt, I give you the floor on Jared Goff.
Well, first of all, congratulations to that young man, but he's earned it. We talk about franchise quarterbacks, a quarterback-driven league. What is a franchise quarterback? A quarterback that can get you to the Super Bowl. This young man in just his 3rd year showed us he can play at that level. He can get his team to the Super Bowl. So lock him up as soon as you can and build around him because he's got a lot of good football in front of him.
And this is a reason why perhaps if you have a quarterback that's waiting in line for a contract extension like, say, Odell.
Making money just sit still.
I'm just saying, right? And Zeke, we're still waiting to hear the official news while, yes, 2 sumo wrestlers are arriving here. Welcome to Game Day, Hiroki and Yama. A different game day arrival than, say, like anyone else that we normally have, like Tom Coughlin, for instance. We'll explain why these gentlemen are part of our 2-hour show that's underway.
Still to come.
Well, it appears that bygones are soon to be bygones when it comes to Zeke. And the Zeke who is Zeke Elliott, and he's back in the United States, right, Ian Rappaport?
That's right. He is officially back, at least in the country. Flew from Cabo today, Rich, and as Ezekiel Elliott's agent, Rocky Arsenault, said when he met with reporters upon landing in the DFW airport, he didn't come here not to do a deal. That's right. This deal is, quote, very close to being done. This deal, long-term extension, which has been in the works for months, ever since it was clear, talking to people close to Elliott, then he wanted an extension this offseason, not next offseason, despite the fact that he has 2 years left. They are close to a deal, and it could actually be completed tonight, Rich. And my understanding, if all goes according to plan, and Arsenault is expected to talk with Cowboys people tonight, this will make Ezekiel Elliott the highest-paid running back in NFL history, which is exactly what he wanted, allowing him to cash in on some of the best rushing seasons we've seen in some time and lock up a big part of the Cowboys' future.
Yeah, he's led the league in rushing 2 out of the last 3 seasons. Ezekiel Elliott has for the Dallas Cowboys. And, look, we're not telling any tales out of school. In this league, the team that is most known for building itself around the running back that has been on the roster since they drafted him top 5. It's Ezekiel Elliott. The numbers with him and without him are not even in the same universe. He helps make this go. He helps his quarterback. He helps everybody. Michael Irvin, I give you the floor with the very, very, very close. Looks like this is about to get very, very done here.
Yeah, and wow, let me tell you something. This needs to get done. There's aspirations, and everybody expect big things in Dallas. And I'm just saying that would not be the case without Ezekiel Elliott. And yeah, this is a very good football team. I mean, this team is better on defense. They got better players around Dak on offense. This is they were 3-3 without Zeke a couple years ago. They're probably better than that without Zeke. Maybe they'll go a 10-win. They can get a 9-10 win season. But Zeke is worth 2 to 3 games. That 9 to 10 wins, you're talking about hopefully making a wild card. But with Zeke, you're talking about 12 and 13 wins and hopefully getting a bye. This is a big, big, big deal. And Dallas knew. Jerry Jones, I love him. I love him. And he talked a lot. And he said a lot. But he always knew that no way he's stepping on that football field without 21. 21 is the man. That whole offense has been built around him. They need Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, and I think that becomes the next question. They're very close to getting a deal done. Is he very close to getting back on the field as well? I mean, we've heard all the rumors that he's down working out with our old friend Marshall Faulk and down in Cabo, and I know they brought in a quarterback. And how close is he to being ready, if he does sign today, tomorrow, to being back on the field? Because as you mentioned it, they need him out there. He makes everybody better. Will he miss time even if he signs now, or is he ready to go? Is he very close to being on the field as well? Because that's where this becomes a difference maker if they get the deal done now.
I can't imagine he's ready to go. Football shape, all those, and he's been working out. Yes, we get it. Great player, no doubt. This is a good football team. Right. Sometimes we lose sight of the fact that this team in the Metroplex is a pretty darn good team because they got the best offensive line in the league, okay, the highest paid line, too. You got an improving quarterback that's going to get paid. You've got a receiving core that's really better than they've had. They just signed Randall Cobb, too. Michael Gallup's going to be a good player. And Amari Cooper's got to get paid, too, right there. So you're talking about, and a top 10 defense for crying out loud. This is a good football team without Zeke, and now you add him, look out. They've only won one playoff game since he's been there. They've got to take another couple steps, and I think they can.
Right, but, Coach, let's talk about this now, because we all came from a different era where you got really ready during the preseason. Now, no one plays in the preseason. So Zeke has just been like everybody else, that hasn't played in the preseason. I'm concerned that if you try to get him out here, because when you're working out on your own, hey, you're measuring your cuts. When you're playing football, you're reacting with your cuts. It's about how, if they sign him, how do they decide to play him? And you have to be smart about it. You can't give him his normal 25 rushes a game.
And you talk about not playing in preseason, but you're still practicing and you're still seeing things and you're seeing your cuts.
You're going through
and you're
the grind.
slowing the game down and understanding what the guys in front of you are doing. And so, again, I never played running back. I don't know how big a deal that is, but I just believe playing any position, you just need reps to be able to see, slow the game down and get back into a rhythm.
Well, how much pie does this leave left for Dak? Right?
And
so
signing everybody.
No, I understand that. Like and Jalen Smith. So what would that mean, Irv, if they go into the season with Dak on a walk year and not having a contract on that front?
Well, we remember the year that Joe Flacco did that walk.
Well, and he dropped a bag of money on Steve Bisciotti.
And he backed it up. With that team, you put Dak in that type of situation, that he can cash in. He can really end up cashing in on that deal. There's no doubt. And I've said this many times. Every moment they wait, it costs more money. Now Carson Wentz just had, Jared Goff just got a deal. The top Carson Wentz's deal. Every moment you wait, it's going to cost more money. That's just the bottom line, because that's the quarterback position. In the quarterback position, next man up usually jumps and gets the highest paid. That's just the position. There's no need to think it's going to change now. Kirk, these guys have been treated with kid gloves, and they'll continue to be treated with kid gloves, them soft quarterbacks.
Wow. Well, throughout this show, we're going to reveal some of our predictions, including our Super Bowl predictions later on, and who gets in the playoffs that didn't get in last year, who gets bounced out, and that'll be our fun with our sumo friends. The NFC East, everybody on the dais here says it's the Eagles' division to take from the Cowboys.
Zeke?
It's all before Zeke.
Okay, so you guys didn't foresee. You just, okay, I see what you're saying. Anybody want to change right now?
No mulligan.
Now that Zeke is coming? No one wants to change?
Not changing.
Emboldened by the acquisition of one of the game's feared pass rushers in Khalil Mack, the Bears are ready to take a big step. Hakeem Hicks, the sack. Down he goes!
And Rodgers unable to get up. Oh, my goodness. Strip, sack, and recovery.
And it is intercepted by Mack. Welcome to Chicago, big boy. Rodgers is back, but he's got a 20-0 deficit.
Allison, touchdown! Rodgers heating up. Oh, what a play! He may go all the way. 75 yards. There is your dagger.
Stacey Dales is at Soldier Field already. Happy NFL 100 kickoff, Stacey.
Happy 100 kickoff to you guys in the studio and you, Rich, standing here in front of the great Walter Payton statue unveiled today here in front of Soldier Field. Also, George Halas will move down there for the next hit, but we saw that footage, Rich. For the first time in a long time, though, we're going to see a completely different offense for Aaron Rodgers and company. How exciting is that? And in terms of what they want to do, we understand that Matt LaFleur wants to marry the run with the pass. He told me that. But I talked to starting right tackle Brian Bulaga actually today. And in terms of that run game, he told me it's taken about 4 to 5 months, all the way back from OTAs to now, to really conceptualize and understand what they want to do with that run scheme. So there's even a heightened excitement and anticipation within their locker room as to what this thing will look like. As for Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, Bulaga told me he has dived right in. He has embraced the change, not just really looking at what the defense is doing all the time, but what they're going to do, the Packers. And he also told me, Kurt Warner, as I get ready to throw it to you for Warner's Corner on more with these Packers, he said to me, quote, "What better measuring stick is there when you're facing the Chicago Bears in week 1 on Thursday?"
Well, thanks a lot, Stace. And Coach, one of the greatest rivalries in the history of our game, Bears-Packers. First Warner's Corner of the year, we got to look at one of the best quarterbacks in the history of our game, Aaron Rodgers. And I know when I was playing, there was one team that I liked to see more than any others. It was your 49ers. But I have to believe for Aaron Rodgers that team is the Chicago Bears. 16-5 against the Chicago Bears team throughout his career. Although it hasn't been quite as easy recently as we've seen some struggles with Aaron Rodgers. And what is it?
Let's
The
take a look,
system? Is
Kurt.
it guys around him? But he hasn't played the same MVP-type football recently. You see it up top. You got 3 defenders, 2 receivers against 3 receivers and 3 defenders. What the reason? Why is he going up top? Is it comfort level with his receivers? But he should be working down here. He's got a wide open receiver. He's holding the football. Strip sack right there. They're able to get it back. But you're seeing a lot of this from Aaron Rodgers. Right here, 2 guys clearing out the seam. Right? You got 2 guys taking on 1 guy on the inside. Let the ball go. Trust the protection. Let the ball go. You got a big play right there. You see him already moving in the pocket, trying to buy time. Once again, can't find anybody open. Turns into a throwaway. He's got to get back to playing within the rhythm of the offense. One more time here. Got 2 clear outs on the left-hand side. Everybody's moving, right? Just drop it down to Jimmy Graham underneath. Once again, holding the football, not comfortable with what he's seeing, trying to make a big play, taking a sack. That, to me, becomes the biggest question. Is the last couple years we've heard so many things about Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers and what went wrong there. You're seeing the results of that. So the question is, what's it going to look like this year with the new offense? Is he going to get back to playing that MVP-type football?
Well, he has to, and he will. And you know what? You mentioned it earlier. He's 16-5 against the Bears. You got to show us something good, right? Next time around. But you know what? How many times did you change offenses as a pro? 5
times. 5
This
times.
is only the second one. He's a smart guy. He will learn this new offense and look a little bit like these next plays that we're going to see.
Well, and you're right. And the key is comfort. How quickly does that comfort come, whether it be offensive line, system, knowing what's going on around him? And you watch right here how comfortable he is. Now he's standing in the pocket. He's reading the safety. Safety sits here and squats. It's simple, right? Buy a little bit of time. Let the ball go from inside the pocket in rhythm, and you see big play after big play after big play. We're going to see it again right here. Play action. Stepping up. Look at the comfort level in the pocket, right? He's not panicking. He's not looking around for a window. He's keeping his eyes down the field. He gets the linebacker just to move a little bit, because Aaron Rodgers has the ability to get a little bit of movement, and he drops a dime right here. And this is going to be the big question everybody's talking about, right? Audible. He sees the blitz. Uh-oh. Check. I see what I want to see. Let me give me the freedom to be able to make the plays I want to make. He holds the safety in the middle of the field. The corner settles over here. Once again, big play down the field. Is that going to be a part of what they do? How much freedom in a new system? How quickly does that come? I'm excited to see what this offense looks like and if Aaron Rodgers can get back to MVP-type form.
And that's exactly right. That play-action pass with a quarterback from under center, turns his back to the defense, play action, and then find the receiver. He's done a lot of that. He's going to do even more. Right. And then, you made a good point, though. How much audibleizing will Matt LaFleur allow this veteran quarterback at the line of scrimmage?
It's going to be fun to watch Aaron Rodgers, the young quarterback, and Mitch Trubisky, but a lot of weapons to throw to, Irv. Who's your playmaker for the game?
Let me tell you guys, you guys take one side, I take the other. The best thing to do when you are a new coach and you want to win the locker room is win the top 2 guys in the locker room. Kurt just told you how he's going to win Aaron Rodgers. He's going to give him rain. And the other top guy is Davante Adams. You got to win Davante Adams. Davante Adams had his best year last year. Career highs, 111 receptions, 1,386 yards, 13 touchdowns. And against the same Chicago Bears team, he averaged 103.5 yards per game. Trust me, he will throw this ball to Davante Adams Thursday night. They will throw it all over the field. I'm looking for him to have a big day. Rich, Davante Adams is the playmaker for this week.
Well, and as you always know, playmaker, that the most important statistic is wins, and that's how we kick off our first game theory of the 2019 season with Cynthia Freeland. You've got the Bears win projection right there at the very top. You have the Bears winning this division?
I have the Bears with 10 wins, winning the division. This is the closest division in my model, with the separation between the Bears and the Packers being very, very narrow, like a half of a game, which is a big deal in my model, but it's very narrow overall.
So it's between the Bears and the Packers. Not the Vikings and or the Detroit Lions. Okay, so the New England Patriots clearly are the class of the AFC East with
12 wins. Ooh, that says 13. That could be possible, too.
Right.
12 wins, the most wins in the entire model for any team on either side. Their schedule, big benefit. The depth that they have at every position, big benefit. O-line, even losing the center, it didn't really disturb their win total for the season, primarily because they have the favorable schedule, and they really do have a lot of substitutes. It was actually kind of surprising that didn't knock them down a game.
And the reason why we have the Colts here is clearly to see the disparity between the pre-Andrew Luck retirement news and now what we currently have. What does your model say about the Colts?
So I have 7 wins for the Colts. They're kind of boom or bust for me, partly because I do have a better than average rating for Jacoby Brissett. I think I'm a little bit higher on him than some others, but I'm really a little concerned about their defense, and especially without Andrew Luck, the defense is going to be a bigger problem. It's going to have a bigger net impact on the overall win totals.
So at least once in 15 of the last 16 seasons, we've seen a team go from worst one year in a division to winning it the next year. Your model says which team is most likely to be that team this year?
I'm staying in the AFC South, and I'm actually going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even before the Andrew Luck injury, they were actually really, really high in the model, and it was only until Laramie Tunsil was added to the Texans just narrowly edged out the Jags. So I had the Jags winning before some of the trades went down in Houston. So to me, Jacksonville, Duval, they can be happy with me. Indianapolis, not so much.
Maybe not so much. That's Cynthia Freeland right now in our NFL GameDay season preview show brought to you by our friends at Madden NFL 20. That is, I believe that's Yama. He's warming up. That's Yama stretching. I do believe that's 6 bills of stretching out there. And yeah, Puma's running a tight ship. That's the tight ship then. Yeah,
Hey, there ain't nothing better than this right here. Let's dominate this game. Let's get it.
Now this is officially the Mahomes era.
Mahomes steps up down the middle of the field, caught by Kelsey. Touchdown. Let's go.
Boy, you just won.
Take advantage of the day. When you get opportunity in this game, you make a play.
Throw it long. Tyreek Hill's wide open.
Hell of a play. We got more to do. Let's go.
Patrick Mahomes has taken the Chiefs to the playoffs.
Yes, that's your reigning MVP. Aaron Donald is back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year. Matt Nagy winning Coach of the Year. Saquon Barkley trying to turn Offensive Rookie of the Year into an MVP season of his own. The Colts have the Defensive Rookie and the Comeback Player of the Year is done for his career. That's remarkable. Now it's time to turn to you, Irv, for this year's predictions on who wins.
And let me tell you, my Offensive Rookie of the Year is Josh Jacobs from the Raiders. Let me tell you guys something, man. With all the attention given to AB and John Gruden in this pass-happy offense, watch this kid get in and get down. He is going to blast the league with some great rushing. And I'm going to tell you, when he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, go read about his story. I promise you, he will win your heart also. Coach.
All right. Who's going to be the season's superstars? Presented by Sports Madden NFL 20. So I get to call the Defensive Player of the Year. Now, it's not going to be Aaron Donald. He's won it twice in a row. Khalil Mack from the Chicago Bears. He was second last year with 12.5 sacks, 59 pressures, 6 forced fumbles, and he missed a couple of games. Khalil Mack of the Bears with new defensive coordinator Chuck Pagano. They'll be Chuck Strong. Khalil Mack. And Kurt, how about Comeback Player of the Year?
I tell you what, I know, Coach, most Comeback Players of the Year are coming off an injury-plagued season of some sort, but can you win Comeback Player of the Year if you just don't play for an entire season? In my book, you can. So I'm giving this award to Le'Veon Bell. He's talking a big game. He looks good in his workouts. He looks good in green. He's with a young quarterback. Best friend of a young quarterback is a good running back that you can give the ball to a lot. And then Adam Gase, an offensive-minded coach, is going to find ways, as many ways possible, to get this guy the football. So I am going with Le'Veon Bell as my Comeback Player of the Year.
We're going to our 4th Super Bowl in 5 years.
He gives you responsibility and then lets you do your job.
They gave their absolute best, and eventually the results were exceptional.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
Saturday, NFL Network brings the history and tradition of Conference USA. And it all starts with an interstate clash between Grambling and Louisiana Tech.
Touchdown!
Saturday at 3:30, live on NFL Network.
My mom actually was a nurse at St. Jude. She would come home and tell us the stories of all the children that she got to work with on a daily basis. We were taught and raised that we all exist here on this planet to benefit others. That's how my wife and I feel when we give to St. Jude every month. Our giving is right up there with our mortgage. That's the priority that we put on giving to St. Jude.
sports of football start now. Holy Toledo! We are loaded with every touchdown down the sideline. What a catch! From every game, unbelievable! Every Sunday afternoon. Dives for the pylon, he made it. Move the sticks. Hello! With some patience and some burst. Touchdown! We were built for days like today.
So, once the games begin in earnest on Sunday, it's the same drill as before. We join you with NFL GameDay morning every single Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, taking you right up till kickoff, where NFL GameDay Live takes you into highlights, and then NFL GameDay Prime. That's the way Sunday is game day right here on NFL Network. It took 15 years, an unprecedented holdout by his running back, and an Instagram-fueled push from his wide receiver. But for the first time in Ben Roethlisberger's eventual Hall of Fame career, he will enter an NFL campaign without a single teammate of his on offense, with either 3,000 career rushing yards or 3,000 career receiving yards to his credit. In other words, it's Big Ben's show in Pittsburgh now, starting with a visit to New England, of all places, on Sunday night. Here's Andrea Kramer.
You've used the phrase, a return to normalcy, around here. But things are different. It's the first time since 2013, no Le'Veon, no Antonio. On paper, the production is pretty immense.
Antonio Brown, touchdown Pittsburgh. We're doing incline benches.
How do you make up for that production on offense?
Well, I don't know that you can ever fill those shoes and that void with one person, because those two guys that left were pretty special. But we've got a group of guys that are willing to take on that challenge and try and fill that void as a group.
All Big Ben has to do is throw the ball out there, and the speed of Schuster just takes over.
Good job, proud of you.
The idea of addition by subtraction. What difference has that made in the locker room?
Well, you know, no team is ever the same. Whenever that last game of the year is, when we do our team prayer, we always tell guys, hey, look around, because this is the last time that this group will be together as a whole like this.
All right, so wait a minute. So last year at the end of the season, even though Antonio Brown was not there for that final game, did you think that he would not be on this team this season?
You know, I didn't know what to think, but I assumed he would be here, yes.
Why?
As far as I knew, he wanted to be a Steeler, and we wanted him to be here.
But there's always got to be a tipping point where somebody's productivity is just not worth whatever drama existed. What was the drama? What does that even mean?
I don't know the definition of drama.
Distraction.
Distractions. Well, I think we all create distractions. I know I've done it, and so I'm gonna do my best not to do it moving forward.
So you still know him, though, pretty well. Teammates for a long time. What do you make of what's going on in Oakland with him?
You know, I hope that his feet are okay. I know how much he cherishes his feet and how important his feet are to him, because he's one of the best route runners I've ever been around. And I know his safety is very important to him, so I know that's why he cares so much about the helmet.
With respect to the younger guys, you've always brought teammates to your lake house in Georgia in the off-season. But this year, bringing these guys here, you got Juju, who's 22, you got James Washington, who's 23. I don't need to remind you you're 37. There's a little bit of a generation gap there. How did being together at the lake help bridge that gap?
You know, it was about football, but even more so, it was about getting to know each other.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, we went on the boat, and the guys were having a blast. Juju was standing up front, acting like he was on the Titanic. You know, I think just sitting around after we had dinner the first night in the backyard, and we just started, like, talking about our stories, their past, family, things like that, and how they got here.
And because of the relationship that you think you've developed with these younger guys, would it make you less inclined to want to publicly be critical of any of these guys?
You know, I'm just going to be me. I know that being a leader is about winning football games, and I've done a lot of that. Ultimately, it's about getting to the playoffs and getting a championship, and we didn't do that last year. So obviously I wasn't a good enough leader last year, so I'm going to do what I can to be the best leader I can and try and get us back to the postseason.
We're in this period where there's so much talk about career longevity. Brady's 42, he talks about wanting to play to 45. Breeze is 40, you're 37. And then there's Andrew Luck.
I am going to retire. This is not an easy decision. Honestly, it's the hardest decision of my life.
How did it resonate for you, what Andrew Luck did?
I thought it was incredibly brave and honorable to walk away from a game that he obviously loves very much. And I know Andrew a little bit. He's a great quarterback, but an awesome person. And so for him to do this at this point in his career, I tip my cap to him.
Has it made you think at all about your career mortality?
I feel really good. I'm blessed with the line that's in front of me. I feel healthy.
But do you think about how long you want to play for? How much longer?
Well, I'm going to honor my contract like I always have.
Through 2021.
And, so that's what I'm focused on right now.
And we will hear more from Andrea's interview with the future first ballot Hall of Famer, including his thoughts on facing the Patriots Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on NFL GameDay morning. For more on the Steelers and all this, Mooch, take it away.
All right, thanks, Rich. That was really good by Andrea Kramer and Ben. Guys, I'll ask you, how do you think that the loss of Antonio Brown will affect Big Ben? Kurt.
I think it's going to affect him greatly. And, I love Juju. And I know they've got some good young receivers. But when I look at AB and watch what he did in Pittsburgh, things jump out at me is that he was the go-to guy. And you always need a go-to guy, a guy that you can trust in every situation. That was AB. I think about Big Ben. What has always made Big Ben special is his ability to ad-lib and make plays and buy time. And nobody was better at that ad-libbing than Big Ben and AB together. And then the other thing I think about, Michael, is every time the Pittsburgh Steelers needed a big play in a big moment, it was that guy, number 84, right there, that made that big play. So you can bring a lot of guys together, but there's unique players that have the ability to make big plays at big moments. AB had that, and I want to see if they've got anybody that can replace that aspect of his game.
Well, and you're right. Big Ben has always had a go-to guy. But people, listen. Big Ben seems to be one of those guys that like to love him and leave him. He loves you, and then he leaves you. Let me tell you what I mean by that. In 2010, they traded Santonio Holmes. And in the next year, second year, Mike Wallace led the Steelers with 1,257 yards. In 2013, they lost Mike Wallace to the Dolphins. And Antonio Brown came in with 110 receptions, 1,499 yards. And next year, they lose Antonio Brown. We already know Juju Smith-Schuster last year had 111 receptions, 14 and 26. And we heard Big Ben said, I wish I would have thrown him all 4 downs, throwing him the ball. Big Ben has this love him and leave him syndrome. And right now, he's left AB, and he's loving on Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he's right where he wants to be.
You saying Juju should be worried?
Juju shouldn't be worried. Juju's a bad man. I love Juju.
I'm saying Juju a year or two from now.
Right. Yeah, Juju should be worried in a year or two when they get James Washington going.
Juju can't do it by himself, though. Only one. Michael, you guys had Elvin Harper. You got to have a go-to guy, yes, like Juju is, 1,400 yards and 111 catches. But he's got to have somebody else on the other side, whether that's James Washington. Pick up the slack, only 16 catches last year, and Dante Moncrief. Rich, take it away.
All right, Mooch, thanks. Cynthia Freeland already chimed in on the win total front for the Bears, Patriots, Colts. What about the Chiefs? That's in our Hurry Up Offense when we return to NFL GameDay season preview presented by EA Sports Madden NFL 20. Okay, so all 4 of us here believe all 4 teams that played on Championship Sunday last year will repeat as division winners. Those are our consensus, unanimous division picks as we've been showing you our predictions throughout this 2-hour season preview show. Let's get 60 seconds on the clock. Steve Mariucci, you're up first. Your buddy Andy Reid, under his reign, the Chiefs have averaged 11 wins per season. More or less than that this year?
Oh, way more than that.
Okay. Kurt, Derek Carr averages 6 wins a year for his career. Will the Raiders win 6 or more games this year?
Oh, more than that this year.
Michael, the Eagles have averaged 10 wins a season in the Wentz era. Will they have 10 or more this year?
Right about there.
10 or more, yes or no?
I said yes.
Okay. Mooch, the Jets have had 3 straight. The Jets have had 3 straight losing seasons. Will they win 8 or more this year?
Right about there, 8.
Kurt, the Falcons have averaged 9 wins over the last 4 seasons. Do they win 9 or more this year?
I'm going to say more.
Michael, the Seahawks have had a winning record in all 7 of Russell Wilson's campaigns. Will they have 9 wins this year?
Honestly, right about there.
Mooch, the Ravens have averaged 9 wins over the last 3 years. Will they win 9 or more this year?
They will win 9, yes.
Kurt, will the Colts win 6 or more games without Andrew Luck this year?
Yes, they will.
Last one, Michael, the Washington Redskins have won at least 7 games in 4 straight years. Will they have 7 or more this year?
No.
Okay, there you have it. It's so funny that when it comes to Washington, you're like not just on the fence. You're definitively negative about it.
I'm a hater.
All right, we are going to explain why we've got 2 sumo wrestlers hanging outside our studio coming up. It's hour number 2 of our season preview show, and it's now time to turn to those teams that were new in the playoffs last year, because as you can see, since 1990, almost an average of 6 new playoff teams each year, at least 4 in every year. Last year, there were 7 of them. Here's a look back at our predictions from last year's season preview show that was banking on that whole gender reveal theme that was the rage in our country.
The Tennessee Titans. I'm going to kick them right out of the playoffs. This is the Houston Texans. They're going in the playoffs.
A lot of issues there in Buffalo, so they're not making it again. I'm going with the L.A. Chargers.
I'm going to take these Carolina Panthers. And you see that right there? The Dallas Cowboys.
I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes! Jets!
All right, I was trying to make for good TV. The grand tradition of doing ridiculous things to identify teams who will miss the playoffs continues tonight, is we're going to push a team out of the postseason wearing sumo mawashis. And we aren't just dressing the part. We will be facing off against world-class sumo wrestlers Yama and Hiroki from USA Sumo, and you can find out more about their upcoming events at usasumo.com. Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Yama is the heaviest Japanese person in history, weighing in at 6 bills. He battled Keanu Reeves in John Wick 2, so without him, he paved the way for Boban in John Wick 3. And Hiroki is a 2-time sumo champion and competed at the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble event last year. So we're going to step in the ring with these men. But before we do, let's see what we're up against tonight, gentlemen. Uh-oh. Oh, my. Oh, boy. Oh! Look out. Okay.
Oh, I dare somebody to try that.
Okay.
God.
So here's how, check on that Mawashi. Here's how this is going to work. We have the helmets of the 12 teams that made the playoffs last season on this table right here. Each of us will pick a team that will not make it back this season and place that team's hat, because the helmets don't really fit onto Yama or Hiroki, and we'll put the hats on top of their heads. And then we're going to hand a helmet to you, Steve, and the rest of us, and that team will replace the team that you're kicking out. And then we'll either battle Yama or Hiroki to push their team out of the playoffs.
I want Hiroki.
All right, Mooch and his
Hiroki. I want you.
Madependi will be up first.
Yeah, well, you know what? The L.A. Chargers from right down the road here, Anthony Lynn does a heck of a job. 12-4 last year, but you know what? Melvin Gordon's out. I don't know where he is. Russell Okung, their left tackle, bodyguard left tackle, is not playing. And Derwin James, a great player on defense. So I am going to kick out or push out these Chargers. Does that fit? Does that fit you? Okay, does that fit you?
No.
All right. Well, you're going out, right? All right. Who am I putting in? The Cleveland Browns. I'm putting in Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. You're talking about, you got Jarvis Landry from LSU. Oh, yeah, his buddy is there right here. Yeah, let's warm up over here. Odell Beckham Jr., David Njoku. But you know what? They've got some guys over there that are like almost as big as this guy. We got Olivier Vernon, and then we got Sheldon Richardson. We got all kinds of guys that are almost as big as you. You ready for this? Hey, let's go. And come on, man. And the Cleveland Browns are going to push the Chargers out of the playoffs.
Very good.
How about that one?
Whoa. Hey. That might have been illegal use of hands. I don't know. All right, very well done. Mooch, well done. He survived it. All right, Kurt. Kurt, step up. You will battle Yama. You will battle Yama.
I can't believe I'm doing this because Russell Wilson does nothing but win. Worst season he's had in the pros is 9-7. The only time they've missed the playoffs. They've never missed the playoffs. But I have a feeling they're going to miss the playoffs this year. And I know they just got Jadeveon Clowney, and that hurts a little bit, but I don't believe they've done enough on offense to give Russell Wilson the weapons he needs to make it to the playoffs. So I'm going to try to push them out in a second. And I'm putting in, look at this, the Minnesota Vikings.
Sir, yes, sir.
People eaters.
I mean, it is time for Kirk Cousins and company to get into the playoffs, right? $84 million worth of playoffs. He's got the 2 best receivers in the league. Get him, Kirk. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. He's got a top 10 defense. Yeah! Yes! Minnesota's going to the playoffs this year. 8-7-1 is not good enough.
That was like a quarterback.
Oh, my. Now the moment you're all waiting for. Michael will take on Hiroki. Michael, choose your...
Listen. I'm taking out the Chicago Bears. Listen, this is what they left me with. Now, I like the Bears. I like Trubisky, and I like the Bears. But did you know that Bear team, they did it with defense last year. #1 in takeaways last year. Not very good on offense, not a 1,000-yard rusher, not even a 1,000-yard receiver. I'm taking them out, and I'm putting in. Oh, yeah. Don't fool yourself. These Atlanta Falcons, they're getting back on track. Hunter? They're getting back on track.
Very good.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you now, a lot of guys were hurt for Atlanta last year. That'll be back.
Don't hurt your back, Irv. Don't hurt your back, Irv.
Pick him up, Irv. Wait a minute. Chicago, get him, Irv. Get back in, because Atlanta, with all those boys back, they'll make the playoffs.
You lost your head here. All right.
Did you hurt your back? You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. All right, I hope my kids are watching.
Come on, your turn, Rich.
All right,
Your turn, Rich.
I'm going to take on Yama.
Come on, Rich.
I'm going to take on Yama. Which one? I made this decision before the trades over the weekend, but I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying that I still don't really think that the Houston Texans defense beyond J.J. Watt is ready to return to the playoffs. And I'm also concerned about how Deshaun Watson got beat up last year. So there, Yama, is a Houston Texans lid for you. And I'm going to put back in the playoffs the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I've been told that this helmet is less than 10 years old, so it is approved for me to put it on my head right now. And it is also my honor to wear it and tell Steelers fans that Big Ben, you may not have Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, but you've got Big Ben, you've got Connor, you've got Juju Smith-Schuster. You also have Devin Bush from the University of Michigan, who is going to look at the rest of the AFC North.
Get him, Yama.
Like I'm looking at Yama. Do not give it. What is happening?
He's getting advice.
That is the international symbol of not cool.
Yeah, come on, Yama.
Here we go. I'm going to get down. The yellow line is unofficial. And I'm Steelers Nation. I am going to. Come on, Rich. Tell Yama. Punch up. Peace out. Come on. Oh, God. But I'll tell you this. Yama may be moved if the Pittsburgh Steelers have this sort of moxie that I have in me. Good job, Yama. Thanks so much. Does anybody have a way to take off a Mawashi? Anybody? Okay, moments ago, Mooch putting the Browns in the playoffs by shoving Hiroki around, and then the Vikings, thanks to Kurt. That's a beautiful holiday card, Kurt, for you and Yama. And then Irv, this is definitely holding on both. Has there ever been both holding? I don't think I've ever seen holding like that.
Grabbing the belt.
That was very good. And now that's definitely me doing my best for the Steelers Nation. What is he saying? Peace out? Did I get a peace out from Yama right there? My gosh. I tried. Good times. We had a lot of fun. Again, usasumo.com for more on the exploits of Hiroki and Yama and everybody else who sumos for all of us. At any rate, T.Y. Hilton is ready to go for the season. And you could see outside of Soldier, what a beautiful night it looks like in Chicago, Illinois, where we find Stacey Dales right now, right inside the stadium where we see Walter Payton and Papa Bear Hallis. And a look back at Papa Bear's legacy in our NFL 100 Minute.
The Chicago Bears have won the World Championship, and the crowd here is absolutely wild.
George Halas, an NFL trailblazer, co-founded the league 100 years ago as an owner of the Decatur Staleys. He relocated the team to Wrigley Field and changed their name to the Chicago Bears as a tribute to his beloved Cubs. Aptly nicknamed Mr. Everything, Halas played, coached, and owned the Bears. An innovator, he and the Bears were the first team to hold daily practices, study game film, and even have their games broadcast on radio.
Pandemonium is reigning here at Wrigley Field now.
And in the TV age, he made the case for revenue sharing with smaller market teams to keep the league going. With 8 NFL titles in his storied career, his legend lives on with the NFC Championship trophy that bears his name. Over 35 years after his passing, the Bears continued to wear his initials on their jerseys to honor the legacy of Papa Bear Halas.
And now let's head out to Soldier Field, where Stacey Dales is standing by. Stacey?
And Rich standing just in front of the man who started it all 100 years ago, George Halas. That is the statue. You know, Bears head coach Matt Nagy agreed with me this week when we decided this week and this game was going to be called astronomical. It is huge for the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. We talked to players in the locker room today. Not only is it important because, honestly, they want to avenge the Week 1 loss despite going 12-4 to the Packers last season. Eddie Jackson talked about it. The safety, it left a bad taste in their mouth, but they really do understand how important this is for the city and the quality of team that they have. I thought guard Kyle Long really had a nice analogy. He said, you know, some teams out there, they stand in a hallway, and it's a short hallway in terms of that legacy. When we stand in a hallway, it doesn't end because it's the Bears and it's the Packers. As for Khalil Mack, the face of this team alongside Mitch Trubisky, he's only been in the rivalry now for a season, but when we talked to him about it in the locker room and his appreciation for it, his reaction was, I want to sack Aaron Rodgers. And he said collectively they are simply, Steve Mariucci, as I get ready to throw it to you for Mooch's Minute, ready to hit somebody else starting with Green Bay Thursday.
He's going to hit somebody else. Thank you, Stacey. I know you've been waiting all summer for this segment called Mooch's Minute. Here we go. Khalil Mack. He's the best player on a great defense of the Chicago Bears. Where is Khalil Mack? Let's take a look at him. He's standing over here in a three-point stance on the defensive right side. All right, this is called a TE stunt, okay? They're going to move him around with Eddie Goldman in here. All right, start up the field, and then here we come. But he sees Aaron Rodgers going to leave the pocket. We have Randall Cobb wide open. Aaron Rodgers never misses open receiver. Look at that acceleration. Scared Aaron Rodgers right out of there. He missed him by 10 yards, all right? That's the speed. Now he's over here. Two-point stance on the left side. He'll club, he'll rip, he'll swim, he'll slap. Watch the speed to the quarterback. Down goes Aaron Rodgers. Oh, boy. Now, this is against the Rams. The Rams, a couple of great players over here, Andrew Whitworth and Roger Saffold. They're going to slide and try to double this guy. Good luck. Watch him split the double team right here. And he says, I don't want the sack. I want the ball. All right, here he goes. Tuck that ball away, and he's got 5 forced fumbles last season. Khalil Mack is a one-man wrecking crew. You know what? He missed 2 games. He was the runner-up Defensive Player of the Year. He's looking forward to this big game on Thursday night against the Green Bay Packers. I can't wait to watch Khalil Mack. Rich, can't wait to watch you, too.
Wow, Mooch, I mean, you're definitely getting in your cardio, shoving around sumo wrestlers and then giving us our Mooch Minute like that. Hang in there. Somebody give Mooch a little bit of a towel or a wet nap or something. He and Kurt choose the Bears. Look at Irv. You and I think the Vikings are going to take the NFC North. That's the way we're seeing that division in 2019. His career trajectory had him on a path to the Hall of Fame, and depending on the number of championships he might have brought, maybe even a statue near Peyton Manning's outside of Lucas Oil Stadium. Instead, Andrew Luck holds the record for most Pro Bowl selections in NFL history by a quarterback who never played a single game as a 30-year-old. Indeed, his shocking retirement on the eve of the NFL 100 season at the age of 29 will echo throughout the league for many years to come.
With the first pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck to Reggie Wayne. That was a dart. Takes the snap. He's going to run up the middle. He scores. The all-time rookie passing record. Caught, touchdown. The second biggest comeback in NFL history.
Andrew Luck took a shot.
His first missed game of his NFL career.
Rolling shoulder, hopped in and out of the socket.
Boy, Luck got hammered again.
He had a laceration to one of his kidneys and partial tear to an abdominal muscle.
We're going to put Andrew on IR. He did need surgery.
Andrew Luck back on. Here we go. Andrew Luck's first touchdown pass in 616 days. Andrew Luck going for a home run deep downfield. 68-yard bomb.
That is just the kind of brilliance the Colts missed so badly last year.
Comeback player of the year, Andrew Luck.
Out with a calf injury.
The seismic news throughout Indianapolis.
I'm going to retire. Been in this cycle of injury, pain, rehab, and I felt stuck in it. It's taken my joy of this game away.
I mean, on last year's season preview show, what a bold prediction it would have been for you, Mooch, to say that Andrew Luck would break Kurt Warner's record for most passing yards and passer rating in the final season he's ever played in a professional NFL career. But that's what happened. And as a matter of fact, the last man to finish in the top 2 in touchdown passes in his final season was 38-year-old Fran Tarkenton, who was second in 1978 with 25 touchdowns. Kurt, Irv, take it away.
Man, Irv, let's talk about this. I mean, 29 years old, one of the stars, young stars of our league. What are your thoughts in now that you have a chance to reflect on his retirement?
I'm just shocked at seeing it happen. And we talked about it so much when he came into the league, big guys like him and Cam Newton. And we talked about, man, these guys here are big and can take the punishment. I know he's gone through a lot of injuries, but I was shocked to see this talented guy walk away from the game that early.
Yeah, I think we were all shocked. And I think as a fan of the game, as a fan of the quarterback position, I was disappointed because he brings so much to the position, a young guy that you thought had a great career ahead of him. But at the same time, I completely understand when you hear him talk, and he talks about everything that he's been through has taken away his love for the game. And I think back to when I retired. I didn't retire because I didn't think I could play anymore or play at a high level. It was the expectation. It was the pressure. It was the things that I was asked to do week in and week out, that I got done playing those 3 hours on Sunday afternoon and I couldn't even enjoy it. It was like, okay, on to next week. And so I think that's the way it works for a lot of guys, is that there comes a point where all the time in the offseason, all the preparation, all the rehab, all the expectation outweighs your love for the game. The hope is just that it doesn't happen when you're 29 years old, that you get a chance to play this thing out. And unfortunately for Andrew Luck,
Kurt,
he didn't.
You were 38, Kurt. Now, out of all of us, certainly I was shocked. And Andrew Luck did what he had every right to do, what was best for Andrew Luck. But where I go off the rail is when I hear everybody talks about how much Andrew Luck loved the game. He loved the game. Oh, he loved the game. And I said, well, how could you love the game that much and walk away at 29 years old? I mean, I see Peyton Manning. He played until the bazooka of an arm he had turned into a water pistol. I see Tom Brady. He's in a walking cane. He's going to play till he's in a walking cane. I myself, when I got hurt, broken neck, paralyzed, I went and looked for any doctor that can say, Michael, you can play. I couldn't find any that said, Michael, you can play. So maybe he really, really liked it, but I just said, how can you really love the game and walk away at 29? I find that hard. I just find that hard.
And neither one of those guys had to deal with the types of injuries that Andrew Luck dealt with through the course. I mean, you look at Tom Brady, you look at Peyton. They didn't have to deal with that stuff. So the pain of going through it year after year and the expectation, I understand how it weighs on you. It's just, again, unfortunate, I think, for all of us and Andrew Luck that he had to walk away at a young age.
And we wish him the best, whatever he wants to do.
No question about it. Rich, back to you.
All right, thanks very much. In terms of predicting the American Football Conference Southern Division, I still think the Colts take it. I love their roster, and I think Jacoby Brissett's a winner. Steve Mariucci and Kurt Warner take the team I just ejected out of the sumo ring. And Michael Irvin likes the Jaguars. Nick in St. Nick Irv Trusts. Now, Ian Rappaport joining us once again on NFL Network. I give you the floor on Jared Goff's new contract extension.
That's right, a big-time extension. The Rams quarterback of the present and the future now locked in. He gets a 4-year deal, Rich, $134 million. He gets an NFL record-setting $110 million in guarantees, eclipsing his buddy Carson Wentz. And, of course, they do have the same agent. This now means that Jared Goff is tied to the Rams for 6 years, $161 million. Another franchise quarterback getting paid. Speaking of getting paid, of course, we are still waiting for the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott to finalize their big-time deal that is expected to make him the highest-paid running back in NFL history. The hope from both sides is that it gets done tonight and should average $15 million per year. But, of course, we are still waiting. As his agent said, they are very close. Not so for Melvin Gordon and the Chargers. They actually told him earlier in the week that they are not going to do any more negotiations on a long-term extension. He did, by the way, get permission to seek a trade. I know one team was interested. Just does not sound, Rich, like that is going to actually happen. So now Melvin Gordon, who had planned to sit out the start of the season with the Chargers, has a real decision to make. Does he follow through on his plans, or does he show up?
I'll tell you what, that bold prediction would be not that Zeke is going to be back by week 1, but maybe that Melvin Gordon is going to be back by week 1. So we're doing bold predictions. Do you have a good one?
You know,
or is it going to be one of those lame ones that anybody could get?
I don't know what you did all summer, but I was doing research. Research on records that I want to make an assault on.
Man, we're going to have a fun year with those montages and everything else in the NFL 100. Okay, another hurry-up offense. 60 seconds on the clock. These are all yes or no, more or less. Okay, not just around or anything like that. Saquon, 11 rushing touchdowns last year. Will he have 11 or more this year?
Way more.
Kurt, 4 of the last 5, number 1 overall QBs, had over 20 passing touchdowns as a rookie. 20 or more for Kyler.
I'm going to say just a little bit more.
Michael, Mr. Big Chested, at least 100 receptions in each of his last 6 seasons. Will he have 100 or more this year?
Yes, okay.
More rushing yards in 2019. Lev Bell or James Conner, Steve?
Lev Bell's got fresh legs.
Cam Newton averages 23 passing touchdowns per season. 23 or more this year. Yes or no?
I'm going to say no.
Michael, Julio's had over 1,500 receiving yards in 3 of the last 5 years. Will he have that or more this year?
I just put him in the playoffs. He'll have that in a $100 million contract.
Mooch, Kurt is the only quarterback in Rams history with multiple 4,000-yard passing seasons. Will Jared Goff join him this year?
Yep, he will.
Kurt, who will have more games started for the Dolphins this year, Fitz or Rosen?
I'm going to say Rosen.
Michael Thomas, Michael, at 9 receiving touchdowns last year, 9 or more this year.
I'm giving him 12 this year.
There you go. See,
that would
so
be
much
more.
crisp. That's called that's a crisp hurry-up offense. That was crisper than our first one. I'll be very honest with that one. Okay, some milestones that we're looking forward to seeing this year. Check it out.
Never.
As we weave our way through the 2019 season, the common thread is greatness. Drew Brees and Tom Brady need 20 and 23 touchdown passes, respectively, to exceed Peyton Manning's record of 539.
You have just witnessed history, New Orleans.
Brees is also on track to become the first NFL player ever to throw for 75,000 yards. Ben Roethlisberger is only 6 wins away from joining Brady, Brees, Manning, and Brett Favre as the only quarterbacks in NFL history with more than 150 wins. With 23 catches, Larry Fitzgerald will lead Tony Gonzalez for second most all time. The ageless Frank Gore needs just 522 rushing yards to pass Hall of Famer Barry Sanders for number 3 on the all-time list. Meanwhile, Adrian Peterson is close to running down 2 Hall of Famers, needing just 1 rushing touchdown to break a tie with the great Jim Brown and 5 to pass Walter Payton for the 4th most in NFL history. As these all-time greats rewrite the record books, they become further intertwined in the fabric of NFL history.
The following segment is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. It's time for Bold Predictions.
All right, Steve Mariucci, bold prediction for the 2019 campaign. Steve?
You know what I want to do? I just want to smash a record, Rich.
Smash him.
This guy over here. No, Kurt, it's not about you all the time. I'm going to go way over.
Don't record here, buddy.
Kurt. Michael. All right, people. Guess who has the most receptions in a Cowboy single season?
That guy.
That guy right there. 111 catches in a season, man. That was same as Juju.
That's pretty good in that
That's
decade.
pretty good, man.
That's pretty good for
well,
that
I got
decade.
another guess. What? Guess who has the number 2 season and 3 and 4 and 5 seasons?
Their new tight end, there's the same.
Jason Witten is just right behind you, all right, Michael?
Yep.
Well, this year, right out of the booth, Jason Witten's going to smash your record and catch 112 passes for the Dallas Cowboys.
For 112 yards. Nice. 112
Wow, you have to really go
112 yards.
Don't rain on the guy's parade.
I love Witt.
Don't rain on Witt's parade. All right, I'm going to call it the Battle of the Big Apple, and I'm going to say Saquon Barkley and Le'Veon Bell finished the season 1-2 in all-purpose scrimmage yards. They will combine for over 4,700 yards, which is a never ever. And also one of them will become the third player in NFL history to go 1,000 and 1,000.
Which one?
Do I have to say that?
Yes.
Well, we're kind of riding on the fence all day. No,
So we're not?
I'm going to go Saquon then.
There you go. There you go.
I'll go Saquon.
Okay, and I'm going in a never-ever direction. Now, did you know? I'm going to say, because, and we're going to be blessed with this, folks, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, boy.
Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry in the union of these three. Odell and Jarvis will put up 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Never done before. Never done before. Now, people, I put up 2 receivers that put up 3,000 yards before. Even Kurt did that with his guys. They put up 3,000 yards. And one time, the Patriots, they put up 31 touchdowns, Randy Moss and Wes Welker. But never both 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. It's a never ever. We will be blessed because Baker Mayfield will throw balls that Eli didn't throw, and we will see more of those one-handers by Odell and Jarvis Landry. Folks, we will be blessed this year.
I already had my bold prediction come true.
What?
That Jared Goff would be able to afford a new, beautiful guest house for Mike Silver.
Oh,
yeah, it happened.
That is true.
He's probably with him right now.
Or my other bold prediction was Mooch would put the crown of a Browns helmet in the armpit of a sumo wrestler. That happened about a half an hour ago.
That happened.
That was great.
A seismic shift in the NFL, one of the biggest trades we have seen in pro football.
Odell Beckham traded from the New York Giants to the Cleveland Browns.
John Dorsey is not playing.
One of the greatest football players in the game traded in his prime.
It's just jaw-dropping. You pair Jarvis Landry with his buddy Odell Beckham Jr. with Baker Mayfield back there. The Browns have put together one of the most talented, youthful offenses that we've seen.
They might have the best defensive line in the NFL. Myles Garrett and Ogunjobi. They got Sheldon Richardson traded for Olivier Vernon. They're loaded up front on that defense.
Clearly, they're going to go into the season as the favorite in the AFC North.
All right, guys. A lot of hype going on over there in Cleveland, huh? When I'm talking about hype, what does that mean? They haven't made the playoffs in 16 years, okay? A lot of people think that they'll win that division, Mike. Will they live up to the hype?
Well, when I say live up to the hype, I'm talking about going all the way to Miami, and I don't think they'll go all the way to Miami, but yes, they will live up to the hype if you're talking about making the playoffs. And I just joked about it over there, but I'm not joking. I can't wait to see this on the football field. First of all, we talk a lot about these personalities and how they will mash together. The thing I'm saying, these guys were great friends before they even stepped on the football field. So that will make that personality thing work great. And I am so excited to see. We got cheated. And Odell Beckham is such a gifted receiver. And we got cheated. We didn't get to see all of that in New York. We will see it all in Cleveland because Baker Mayfield would take the chances that Eli did not take.
No doubt they have a lot of personalities and skilled players, but to me as a coach, man, the defense is really something else, you know.
Yes.
New defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. But they already had Myles Garrett, all right, a Pro Bowler, first pick in the draft. And you're talking about Denzel Ward, another Pro Bowl. So then you add a Sheldon Richardson, who's been to the Pro Bowl, and Olivier Vernon, who's been to the Pro Bowl. You're talking about real solid, you know, defensive players at every level. And so that's what excites me. That's why I think they can live up to the hype and shut down Big Ben and all those other teams that they need to, Kurt.
And I'm going to agree with both you guys. I think they're going to live up to the hype. I think they're going to win the division and be in the playoffs. And it's because of what you're talking about. we want to talk about the flashy players on offense, and understandably so, because I would be excited to throw to those guys. But you're right. They have different ways in which they can beat you now. It's not just quarterback have to come out and play great, or Odell's got to go get 100 yards, or Jarvis 100 yards every single week. They can beat you a lot of different ways. They got a young back that can run the football. Question marks in the offensive line as they made some changes there, so I want to see that. But young defensive backs, I mean, they got playmakers all over the place.
Everywhere.
I'm excited to watch this team, and they're confident. You know, the one question I have with this team, and whether it happens or not, is if they struggle early, because there's all these expectations, there's all this hype. What if they don't live up to it early? How does that change the complexion of what Odell does and what Jarvis does and Baker and his confidence? That, to me, is the only question. If they start fast, I don't have any doubts they're going to be in the playoffs, and then we'll see if they can make some noise in the playoffs.
I don't think Odell goes and have the interviews that he had in New York that kind of talk about people. I really don't. These guys talked about being able to play together when they were working out together. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Jarvis Landry, that dude is off the rip how great he is, and I think he'll show more with Odell with him.
To put this into perspective, the last time they won this division, you were with the Rams and I was with the Niners. That's a long time ago. They made the playoffs back then.
Where was I, Coach?
Well, you were, where were you, Mike?
I don't know.
You were with ESPN. All right, Rich, how do you see this division?
I was with ESPN back then. Hey, look, you know, how come Lamar Jackson can't live up to hype? How come Lamar Jackson can't take a leap forward like Cleveland's Heisman Trophy winning quarterback? I say he can, and I say that Earl Thomas is a great addition. I say the Ravens repeat in division, and Irv says the Steelers make it back to the playoffs by winning the AFC North. Cynthia Freeland returns with Game Theory. What say you about the Browns?
Well, I'm going to give you the win total first, and that's 9 wins for me. And before we saw some changes other places, namely Andrew Luck retiring. And remember that you have to see who's playing who. The Browns don't have to play the Colts, the Steelers do. It shifted my projection so that the Steelers now win that division. But the Browns, they're going to the wild card. He's 16 years ago. I think I was like 4, maybe 5.
Well done. The Dallas Cowboys, Dak, they've won at least 9 games in every one of his seasons. What about now? Same number.
Same number. This one's a little bit dicier for me. This is a stronger, look, they have a much harder schedule than the Eagles. This is a stronger, more kind of an indictment of who they're playing as opposed to them. This is not going to make Michael Irvin very happy, but for me.
Hey, listen, the numbers don't lie.
I'm sorry.
Nor does Cynthia Freeland. What do you got for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Okay, this one will make our Chiefs fans happy.
Okay,
11 wins, strong division win, because really the Chargers have a lot more question marks than they did before. There's a lot of injuries. Their defense, number 33, Derwin James, is not playing. That means the Chargers, their ability to win games is a little bit more compromised than the Chiefs. The Chiefs are strong. They're number 2 in the entire AFC for me.
Right, and they added Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark to their defense. As for the MVP, who do you think takes home the MVP award this year?
I found out that Kurt Warner and I have the same pick, and I love it. That makes me really happy.
Sure.
I have Drew Brees winning it. I have him finally taking home that MVP. Drew Brees, I think you and I like the Saints' chances in the postseason this year.
Right.
And I think Drew Brees really has that year that he deserves to have. He deserves to have already won an MVP. So for me, this is the year that it happens.
It's been 10 years since we've seen a back-to-back MVP award winner. Peyton Manning was the last to do it in 2008 and 2009, and I say Mahomes does it again. A team that has all that weapons and has a coaching staff that knows how to employ them and a defense that can back it up. You need a team that can win a division, win multiple double-digit games, and have a guy who can throw for 40 touchdowns and 4,000 yards or 5,000 yards like he did last year with a 50 burger. Who do you have, Kurt?
Well, Cynthia just said, I'm going with her and Drew Brees, and she mentioned it. He's finished second 4 times. When LT scored 31 touchdowns, a record. When Peyton Manning went 14-0 to start a season. Aaron Rodgers threw 45 touchdown passes one year, and then Mahomes last year threw 50. So it took great seasons from everybody else to not let Drew Brees win an MVP. I say this year he backs up his great season last year and he wins the MVP, Michael.
Kurt, I'm going Drew Brees as a consolation. Let me tell you something. A couple years ago, the Vikings, they snatch it right away from him late minute. Last year, the referees take it right away from him and get him to the Super Bowl. This year, those people with the star, they'll take it from him. But Drew Brees will get the MVP. He can't get a Super Bowl win, so you might as well get the MVP, Coach.
Well, you know what? I like Drew Brees too, but you know what? I'm going to mix it up just a little bit. Saquon Barkley, the running back of the New York Football Giants. You know what? The last time a running back made the MVP, Adrian Peterson, 2012. Yeah, Saquon had over 1,300 yards rushing. He was up on top, but he also had 91 receptions coming out of the backfield as a rookie running back. Yeah, Saquon Barkley led the National Football League in scrimmage yards with over 2,000. He's my MVP this year, Rich.
Wow, that's going to be a great full chat on NFL Game Day morning on Sunday. And when we see you next after this show, it'll be on Thursday to take you to kickoff of Packers-Bears of the NFL 100 season. It's right in front of us, people. Absolutely right in front of us. Okay, so it's time to give out trophies, and who's going to get a trophy handed to them. And that starts with our man, Mooch. Congratulations, Steve Mariucci won the picks contest last year. It is my honor to...
Let me hear it.
I placed, and Irv showed, and Kurt Warner, I don't know what he did.
He pulled up the tail.
I just went down swinging. I was right there with you guys, and then made an effort for the win.
Okay, and now for the trophy presentation, we bring our friends Yama and Hiroki back. Oh, is that Italian food in there? Okay, here we go. Well done, Steve Mariucci.
It's big time, Mooch.
Pasta and
the best award ever.
Trophy. There you go, Steve Mariucci. Here, careful now.
Oh my goodness, guys! Thank you so. Those are meatballs, huh? Huh? Those are meatballs. Look at that right here. I'm short of words. I'm emotional. I want to thank my agent, and I want to thank my family and Jeff Blasucci, and I want to thank Brenda Warner. Brenda, if you watch this show, I need the chain a little bit longer. I chipped my tooth last year. All right, she's gonna make a new chain, right?
Picks chain.
All right, but you know what? This is spaghetti and meatballs in it. You guys eat carbs? Well, let's start off with the meatball. Go ahead. We got Yama and Hiroki. Come on. Okay. Come on, guys. You're not getting one, Rich.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. We did that. Yes, we did that.
We can't unsee that.
So,
fantastic.
You can't unsee that, Coach. What did you say?
Okay.
Can I take this home?
No, Mooch. Actually, don't. Let's take a look at last year's Super Bowl picks. I got one right with the exception for who beat whom. I had Rams in New England. Steve, good job with the Falcons and Jaguars. Put the Ziggy on that. Kurt had the Battle of L.A., so he got that one right. And Irv had the Rams as well. Michael Irvin, it's in your neck of the woods, South Florida. Who do you have?
Right, and I'm telling you, this is the best I ever felt about this pick, even though some guys I made this pick before, and I thought they were in the right direction, but they are this time. I'm taking the Cowboys over the Chiefs this year, and I'm telling you the Cowboys with Zeke. If they don't bring Zeke, come on back. I'm going to talk to you about that later. But right now, the Cowboys with Zeke over the Chiefs. Cowboys win a Super Bowl.
Kurt?
For me, I'm going with the Saints and the Chiefs. And I'm going to say the Saints beat the Chiefs. You talk about all that stuff that happened to the Saints over the last couple years. We're going to get that all rectified this year and get Drew Brees his second championship.
Mooch?
Well, you know who we think.
Is it Andy Reid if you're going to be eating
me and my meatballs here? It's Andy Reid, okay? I went over to there's training camp. They're better than they were last year. I'm just telling you right now. And they were like just a titch away from beating those Patriots. So they're going to go there, and they're going to win this. And I'm trying to figure out who are they going to play. Well, you know what? The Rams are a darn good football team, and until somebody can dethrone them in the NFC, I'm going to go with the Rams. But I've got Andy Reid over the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I wanted to take the Chiefs so badly because they are so talented, Steve. But after hanging with Belichick for 2 days for the NFL 100 series and just being around him, careful, Steve. I just could not. Oh my God! Can I make a prediction without hearing a slurping noise? I've lost my place. I'm taking the Saints over the Patriots.
Okay.
Yes, I'm taking
Saints over the Patriots.
Two 40-year-old guys, 40 in their 40s in South Florida, where the portions are smaller than Mooch's dish right there. That's what I got going on.
All right.
What say all of you? You can tweet at us and have a good time. We're interactive. We will see you on Thursday for the kickoff,
Cowboys
and then Sunday for game day morning. Congrats, Mooch. I mean on the food, not your trophy.